Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapatakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sattvitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam कृष्ण चैतन्य देवम श्री राधा कृष्ण पदान सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीन बंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुस्तुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे गुरवे गौरचंद्राय राधिकाय तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्ण भक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः हरे कृष्णा थैंक यू सो मच devotees for joining the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita glorification on the life of Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu. We have been reading the sections of Jagannath Puri. That is the section where Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, or that is of the 48 years that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was there in this world, Jagannath Puri was a place where Mahaprabhu stayed for 18 years continuously. From the age of 30 to 48, Mahaprabhu was stationed at Jagannath Puri, of which it is explained from 30 to 36. He was in Jagannath Puri, but internally in Jagannath Puri he was traveling. But from 36 to 48, the last 12 years, he was in Jagannath Puri, but not even traveling. So the last 18 years were practically Kshetra Sannyas, but of that last 12 years were Kshetra Sannyas in the house of Kashi Mishra, that is Gambhira. So Kshetra Sannyas of Kshetra Sannyas. Here also in this world we find many take Kshetra Sannyas. They don't move. They are at one place. Gadadhar Pandit was like that. From a Kshetra Sannyas after Mahaprabhu moved Jagannath Puri, he was also in Jagannath Puri. He didn't move. In our ISKCON movement also we have His Holiness Varsana Maharaj. He stays in New Vrindavan in West Virginia, US. And and Varsana Maharaj is such, he has taken Kshetra Sannyas. So in 1972, he came to New Vrindavan and he was telling me, he said, Bhakta Richard and I came to New Vrindavan on the same day. Bhakta Richard is later goes on to become Radhanath Maharaj. His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj. So he and Srila Radhanath Maharaj both came to New Vrindavan on the same day. So Varsana Maharaj is taking Kshetra Sannyas for the last 50 years, from 1972 onwards. It's more than 50 years then. He has not moved. He doesn't move out of New Vrindavan. And I remember I asked him when I met him, I asked him that, isn't there a desire to go to Vrindavan Dham or Mayapur Dham? Because so many of your god brothers are there and so many others are traveling. So isn't there a desire that you also want to go to Shiv Vrindavan Dham? And he looked at me and said, this is Vrindavan Dham. This is New Vrindavan. This is Vrindavan. And I was trying to use my logic. I was saying, yeah, but no Vrindavan. And then he said, actually, he said, I had the same doubt in my head. So when Prabhupada came here in 1972, Prabhupada came to New Vrindavan about twice. The thrice, 69, 72, and then 76, something like that. So when Prabhupada came in about 1972, Prabhupada was sitting on the Vyasasana and they were just having a normal conversation. Different devotees, disciples were there. And Prabhupada very emphatically, Prabhupada said, with his fist, Prabhupada hit his table and said, "This is Vrindavan Dham. This is New Vrindavan. And if someone stays here, they will get the same benefit of Vrindavan." And then Varsara Maharaj was saying in 1976, he again made the same point. He said, "This is Vrindavan Dham." So Varsana Maharaj was saying, when Prabhupada, my Guru there, told that this is Vrindavan Dham twice, then why should I doubt the word? Why should I go anywhere else? So this is Vrindavan Dham. And it's been, what, 52 years now almost. He is not left. And the last time I went, it was summer of 2022. He was trying to make Lalita Kund near his Bhajan Kutir. So he lives in the premises of New Vrindavan Temple, but he manages everything himself. He cooks on his own. He has his own room and things like that. So he's not dependent on anyone. And he digs places. He makes Lalita Kund. Last time he was making Lalita Kund and Sham Kund and things like that. So, so there we have personalities who have taken Kshetra Sannyas who live in the land of Shiv Vrindavan Dham. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, like that, in that mood, was in Jagannath Puri almost like taking Kshetra Sannyas for the last 18 years of his life, of which the first 6 years were Kshetra Sannyas in Jagannath were traveling, and the last 12 years were Kshetra Sannyas in Jagannath Puri in the house of Kashi Mishra called Kabira. While in Jagannath Puri, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu experiences the Rath Yatra festival, which is one of the five life airs, as we explained. We're talking about Kshetra Sannyas. We're talking about Kshetra Sannyas. Sripad Aindra Prabhu had taken almost Kshetra Sannyas, not not moving an inch out of Sri Vrindavan Dham, not moving an inch out of Vrindavan Dham. He had taken this oath that come what may, I will not go out of Vrindavan Dham. And even if Sripad Aindra Prabhu would go, it would only be to Mayapur. That is also for the Gaur Purnima festival. And that is also devotees had to beg him, please, please, please come. And he would be like, uh, I don't want to leave Vrindavan Dham. He was so attached to Vrindavan. For him, even to go to Mayapur, he was reluctant. And then in 2003, finally, after uh, 17 years straight of Brajbas, now we know how difficult it is to live in Vrindavan Dham. It's not easy. When we go for 1 week, we may not experience the challenges because when we go in a yatra, everything is arranged for us. There is like fancy, luxurious prasad. There are nice rooms. Devotees are there. And then 1 week goes by this way. But when we go there to permanently stay, there are a lot of challenges that come along with it. And one of them is the summer heat. Hmm. Is the summer heat. We know how hot India gets, and so does America. So does America. Even the US gets very hot, but India gets way more hotter. Uh, and Vrindavan is on another plane altogether. If places like Mumbai and other places are like 38, 40, 42 Celsius, Vrindavan goes till about 46, 47, 48 Celsius. Uh, it's best in everything. It's best in bhakti, but at the same time, it's best in even the summer heat. And so is the winters. Winters are also very extreme. But in spite of the heat and the cold, Sripad Indrapur was still stationed in the land of Vrindavan. He didn't move an inch. So even for the Mayapur Gaur Purnima festival, when they would ask him, he would say, well, if I come, how about my Nita Sachi Sutta? What will they do? And devotees would say, Prabhu, you are going for them. It is their festival and that is their birthplace. And devotees will take care. But he will say, yeah, but they will not there. They will not be there with me. Can we also take them? They'll say, it's not possible. How can you take them on the flight? It's not possible. And Aindraba would be like a cranky baby. He would not want to go. He was very attached to his Nita Sachi Sutta. And of course, he expressed, it was not as vocal, but Aindraprabhu did everything which made it clear that he was very attached. He would cook for them, he would dress them, he would read Shastra for them, he would water them. I mean, bathe them, he would dry them, he would oil them, he would put scent on them. He was very attached to them. All day he was living with them. And then finally, when the Gaur Purnima festival came 2003, Aindra Prabhu, when they asked, they had booked the tickets, and Aindra Prabhu was still reluctant. Finally, he put chits. Aindra Prabhu had this habit, and this is a very good habit. I think I would have mentioned it earlier, but it's always a good habit to remember and remind ourselves of the activities that sadhus have performed in the past. Whenever Aindra Prabhu would have a confusion, whether to do A or whether to do B, what Aindra Prabhu would do is he would make three chits. The first chit, like for example, whether to go to Mayapur or no. So he would make three chits. The first chit would be yes, go to Mayapur. Second, no, stay in Vrindavan. And the third chit will be the name of his deities, Nitai Sachi Sutta. Three chits. And now Ayendra Prabhu's habit was he would make these three chits and like Shakuni Mama, he would always put in front of his Nitai Sachi Sutta. And now it's time to pick the chit. But the mood of Ayendra Prabhu was the first chit should be the name of his deities. And whatever follows after that, he will take it as the will of Nitai Sachi Sutta. Like, for example, if the first chit that he picks is yes, go to Mayapur, Aindrapa would not take it because he would say it's probably my mental speculation. First, the name of my deity should come. And then what follows after that is the will of Nitai Sachi Sutta. So all that he would do would, all his decisions would be based on this. And then when in 2003 he did this, he put three chits and lo and behold, the chit that came was yes, go to Mayapur. That's when Ayendra Prabhu packed up his bags. And for the first time in 17 years, Ayendra Prabhu went to Mayapur. That also he left one dham for another dham. He practically never went anywhere. And it's interesting that we're speaking about Sripad Aindra Prabhu today because to be honest, I had no plans. But now that I'm speaking, I'm just remembering that tomorrow is the disappearance day of Sripad Aindra Prabhu. It will be 14 years of disappearance. It is 14th Tirobhav of Sripad Aindra Prabhu tomorrow in India and also tomorrow in the US. So literally in about 2 hours is going to be the disappearance of Sripad Aindra Prabhu. So he was like that, stationed at one place in Sri Vrindavan Dham, not going anywhere, and in fact inviting everyone to come to Sri Vrindavan Dham. Even when Sripad Aindra Prabhu for his the recording of his albums, he was confused. Not confused, but he had lot many names in his head as to what he can name his new album. So for everything he would do chits. And that's how he named different albums, Kirtan albums of his, Vraj Vilas, Prayers to the Dust of Vraja, Vrindavan Mellows, so on and so forth. All of them were chits because he wanted something to be Vrindavan oriented, but what? And then he would do chits and whatever would come, okay. So this is something I am not promoting it, but this is something if we are inspired by Shripada Indra Prabhu and if we are inspired by the purity of his life and the intent, this is something that we can also do. Whenever we have doubts in our life, whenever we don't know whether to do A or to do B, pick up three chits, r- write your heart down, write the name of your deities, put it in front of your deities. Whatever comes after that, just do it. Just do it. And I'll share one thing. I think I'm not sure I would have shared it here. I shared it in one of the youth camps here in Seattle. Last year, I had to move out of an apartment. And as I was a bachelor, I was kind of hopping from one apartment to another apartment. As the rent increases and you can't afford, you then look for another cheaper apartment. So I was moving into another apartment, and I was in Vrindavan that time. So I saw through online, there was one place close to the temple that was really good. So I reached out to them and I signed the lease. I even paid the deposit upfront. I did everything so that when I come back to the US, that is January of this year, when I come back to the US, I will have a new place to move into. And that is the exact time when another apartment opened up, which was more close to the temple. But uh, from a rent standpoint, it was little more than the other apartment where I had signed the lease. And I was confused whether I should take that or whether I should take this. That is uh, rent wise, that's cheaper, but proximity wise, this is closer. Rent wise, this is more, but proximity wise, that is far away. So, what to do? Should I take that house? Should I take this house? If I take this house, I may be a little far away from the devotees. I may save money, but I'll be far away from the devotees. But if I take this one, I may end up putting a little more money, but I'll be close to the devotees. And there was this, I was juggling these balls of confusion. I didn't know what to do. So I decided, let's do the same thing that Aindra Prabhu did. Let's just follow in his footsteps. Jo hoga dekha jayega. And I put three chits. First is whether that apartment, second is this apartment, and third is Shri Nitai Navadvip Chandra, my Gaur Nitai deities. And I put all three in front of them and I picked up, and it showed the name of the second apartment where I had not signed the lease. The second apartment, which is closer to the devotees and with the more rent. So I was thinking, is it hallucination or should I do it again? Maybe I had this in my mind, and maybe because I wrote it earlier, that's why I'm picking up that same shit. You see, sometimes when you write three chits, you exactly know after you fold it, you exactly know ye chit mein ye likha hai, wo chit mein ye hai. So sometimes you just pick up that. So I thought maybe it's my mental thing. So let's do it one more time. So again, I did like Shakuni Mama and I put it in front of Nita and Navadip Chandra. And I picked it up again. And again, it said the second apartment, which is closer to devotees. So I said, okay, let me do one thing. Maybe I know because I have written the chit, so maybe I know what's there. Let me ask someone else. So I asked my wife. I said, why don't you do it? Now she had not written the chits and she had no idea. She just knew what I know, what were the chits about, but she didn't know like how I folded the chits. So I said, why don't you try? So she did it. And all three times that she did, three times of hers and two times of mine, all three times, this was at Vrindavan Dham, last Kartik. All five times, it showed the second house, which had a little more higher rent and closer to the devotees. Now I was thinking, my goodness, I have already signed the lease in the first house and I've already paid the deposit. Ab kya kare? Now, Nita and Navdeep Chandra are saying, go there. Uh, I followed what either who did, but it's a little different. Now, what am I supposed to do? What should I call the owner and say? And I was in Vrindavan that time, so I was not able to do an international call either. So I just took a chance. I reached out to the first landlord where I signed the lease. I said, well, uh, seems that I will not be able to take it for so and so reason. So if it's possible, can you refund the deposit? And I was pretty sure because maybe I don't know how it works in India, but in America rules are pretty strict. Once you have signed the lease, once you've given the money, it's very rare that you kind of get it back. I said, let's just take it a chance. If I get it, great. If I don't get it, maybe I had some karmic implication because of which that money had to just go away that way. So I wrote that email, and somehow because I felt it was orchestrated by Nita and Avdeep Chandra, no questions asked. They replied to that email within 24 hours and they refunded my deposit. And that deposit was more than 1 lakh rupees conversion. And they didn't ask anything. They returned it straight away. And that same money, I could put it in the present house where I am and I could move in close to the devotees. So the reason I'm saying is to not speak about myself, but I'm saying that how the same thing which I read in the life of Sripad Aindra Prabhu, I could apply it. And now that I think that I've been here for about 7 months now, I feel it's the best decision I made in comparison to that house. That would have been cheaper, but the proximity to Shri Shri Radha Neelamada that I get here is way more. So, through the means of inspiration to all the youth, whenever we have any doubt in anything, let us take help of the wit and the intelligence of Sripad Aindra Prabhu and leave it unto our Gaurnita, or leave it unto our Radha Krishna, or whoever our deities are. Anyway, so that was a pretty long introduction to our class. That was not the start of the class. That was just an introduction. But that's where we are, Mahaprabhu's in Jagannath Puri. We started all this with Kshetra Sannyas, and we went out, round and round and round. Of course, we'll speak more about Sripad Aindra Prabhu tomorrow, because it is his disappearance day. So make sure you are there. You're there to inspire me and to inspire others and to help each other uh, purify our intellect and purify our consciousness and purify our heart by hearing, reading, and speaking more about Sripad Aindra Prabhu, which is tomorrow. So this was just a trailer. We will speak more about him tomorrow. But now let's come back to Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, where Gauranga Mahaprabhu is Kshetra Sannyas in Jagannath Puri. And Rath Yatra is done, the Hira Panchami festival is done, and uh, place where we ended was they were enacting the pastime of Ramayana, and different associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu were playing Hanuman and monkeys and squirrels, etc. So let's continue. Thereafter, Lord Chaitanya asked the devotees to return to Bengal and requested them to return to Jagannath Puri for the Gundicha Marjana. Gundicha Marjana means cleaning of the Gundicha temple. Lord Chaitanya requested Advaita Acharya, give Krishna consciousness, devotion to Krishna, even to the lowest Chandalas. Chandala means dog eater. जो कुत्ते का मांस खाते हैं उन्हें चांडाला बोलते हैं, dog eaters. Now, of course, in India, it has not degraded so much that people eat dog meat. But in the Western world, yes, they do. In China, there is a dog meat festival. It's called as the Yulin Dog Meat Festival. It's a festival where they eat dog meat, uh, and many of them are eaten alive, uh, killed alive, and burnt alive, and things like that. So India is still better in some way, uh, but India is fast, unfortunately, fast catching up with the Western culture. Where the Western world should be taking up India's culture, is going the other way around. India is taking up Western culture, and somehow the Western world, at least in some places, they are accepting um, Sanatan Dharma. They're accepting the message of Shri Krishna. So Mahaprabhu is telling Advaita Acharya, give this message of Krishna consciousness even to the Chandalas. He then ordered Nityananda Prabhu, go to Bengal, manifest and distribute Prema Bhakti without restriction. I shall also come to see you at intervals. Keeping myself invisible, I shall see you dance. Mahaprabhu tells Nityananda Prabhu to go to Bengal, and Chaitanya Charitamrita explains. Mahaprabhu tells him, प्रति वर्षे नीलाचले तुम्ही नाचिब, गौड़ देश रही मोरा इच्छा सफल करिब. Mahaprabhu tells Nitai, प्रति वर्षे नीलाचले. Every year, don't keep coming to Nilachal. Gauda Desha rahi. Stay in Gauda Desh, which means Bengal. Stay in Bengal and fulfill my heart's desire, my manobhishtam. Don't keep coming to Nilachal every year. I will be very happy if you can be in Bengal and preach the message. Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita explains that those who preach his message are very dear to his heart. So it's a indirect way that Krishna is saying, well, if you want to come back to me and if you want to be dear to my heart, preach. So preaching is meant for everyone, whoever we are and whatever background we are coming from. We have to preach. And preaching not necessarily means preaching through the tongue, it is also preaching through character. What is the use if we are preaching through the tongue but the character is bad? Not very good. But on the flip side, if Someone is not preaching to the tongue, but the character is very good. That is first class preaching. The person's character has to be good. Person's nature has to be good. When people come in front of us and when they interact with us, they should feel that, oh, these Hare Krishna devotees, they're different. Kuch hatke hai. They're blissful. And when you interact with them, there is some 440 old jhatka that we get. We are also inspired. We also become happy like them. Not that people come in contact with us and they get demotivated, or they become more envious and more jealous, or uh, acquire any of these qualities. Devotee carries saintly qualities, divine qualities, and Krishna explains in the 12th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita a list of different qualities that Krishna likes and a list of different qualities that he is not fond of. And he is definitely not fond of enviousness, jealousy, pride, and so on and so forth. But Krishna likes humility, compassion, uh, being generous, being grateful, and things like that. Mm. So, devotees are those when people come in contact with us, we should be able to pull them to the other side. Mm. You see, you have the tug of war, the game. In tug of war, you have two sides and there is one rope. So, there's one side who tries to pull the other team to this side, and there's another team that is there this side who tries to pull this team to that side. And that's the game of tug of war. I'm not sure whether we would have played, but we definitely know about this game. That's exactly what happens. Devotees are on this side, and all the people whom we associate with are on this side. Human life is a tug of war game. Our aim is to pull the non devotees to this side and win the game of tug of war. Not that we go to that side and get converted, and from practicing Krishna consciousness, we leave everything and we become like them. We enter into the game of tug of war to win the game. Similarly, we are entering the arena of Kali Yuga, which is like a tug of war, to win the game, which is to win the heart of the people, to win the heart of the people, to get them to our side. Not that after associating, we become like them. Then we have lost the battle. Then we have not only lost the battle, but we put ISKCON in bad light. People will say, हाँ ISKCON वाले मतलब ऐसी है. पहले बोलेंगे कि मैं मांसाहार नहीं करूंगा, शराब नहीं पीऊंगा, लेकिन 2-4 महीने के बाद वो हमारे संग करने से वो भी करने लगते हैं. That is very shameful. They should be such that they were doing it in the past, and by connecting with an ISKCON devotee, all the bad habits are left. That is the hallmark of a proper devotee. Coming in our contact, people should get transformed, not that we get transformed like them. The only exception, the only place where we can get transformed is when we come in contact with a superior Vaishnava, but not when we come in contact with uh, non-devotees. We have to convert them, we have to transform them. Krishna Bhakti is not the monopoly of a certain caste. It must be distributed throughout the world to everyone who's suffering pangs of material existence. Everyone should be given this knowledge that Krishna is our everything. Human life is meant to attain Krishna. Krishna Mata, Krishna Pita, Krishna Dhana Pran, Nadiya Godru में नित्यानंद महाजन पोते अच्छे नाम हट जीवेरा करण कृष्ण माता कृष्ण पिता कृष्ण धन प्राण कृष्णेर संसार करो छड़े अनाचार जीवे दोया कृष्ण नाम सर्व धर्म सार नदिया गोत्रु में नित्यानंद महाजन. That was Nitai's preaching. You see, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling Nitai that Nitai go and preach. And what is Nitai preaching? That Krishna is your mother, Krishna is your father, Krishna is your wealth. Without Krishna, there is no one. Jive doya, Krishna naam sarva dharma sar. Jive doya, compassion to living entities. Compassion to living entities means preaching. When we preach, it's an expression of showing our compassion to those who are not yet connected to the lotus feet of Krishna. But not that we only preach and we don't practice. In English, there is a saying, practice before you preach. If we are only preaching, 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 but not practicing, we are not practicing anything, uh, then it may not touch or transform the lives of those whom we intend to touch. But if there is purity of intent, and if you are practicing, then even simple words may touch the heart. Look at Prabhupada. Prabhupada never spoke fancy language. He spoke, he spoke very simple language. Prabhupada's English was also very simple. But that simple language was enough to convince the heart of everyone, including all of us. Why? Because there is purity. So we don't want to become speakers. There are many motivational speakers out there who speak different things and make money. But our aim in Krishna consciousness is to first develop purity. And with purity, coupled with purity, when there is preaching, then that preaching has some effect. So purity is first. Purity is first. A genuine um, one's character. Srila Radharani Maharaj in one class was saying one's character is understood by what he does when no one is seeing him. When everyone is seeing him, he may be the best devotee. But a genuine devotee is understood by what he does when no one is seeing him. If that time also he is trying to absorb himself in Krishna, then he is sincere. He may not be doing it 24 hours, but if he's at least making an endeavor, he's sincere. So Mahaprabhu tells Nitai, preach. Lord Chaitanya told Srivas Pandit, perform kirtan daily. I shall also dance in your presence, visible only to you but not to others. Deliver this prasad and cloth of Jagannath to Shachi Mata. Offer her obeisances and beg her to excuse my offences. I am subordinate to her love, which is my real property. It is my duty to serve her, but I have accepted sannyas like a madman, and I am staying here in Jagannath Puri to comply with her orders. You remember we had discussed this. It was Sachi Mata who told Mahaprabhu, don't go to Vrindavan, don't stay in Vrindavan, but stay in Jagannath Puri. Because if you stay in Jagannath Puri, I will at least get news of what you're doing. Because Navadvip and Jagannath Puri are like two rooms of the same house. But daily I go to see her lotus feet. She is able to feel my presence, although she does not believe it. One day, she offered varieties of food to the Shaligram and cried, thinking that all those food items were dear to me. Then I hastily went there and ate everything. Mahaprabhu is telling Srivas, where is Mahaprabhu physically located? Jagannath Puri. Where is Sachi Mata? Navadvip. But still, Mahaprabhu is saying, I went and I had everything. Seeing the dish empty, she wiped her tears and wondered who had eaten all that food. She had the place cleaned and offered another plate to Gopal. A similar incident took place on the last Vijayadashmi day. You can ask her about this incident and convince her that I actually go there. Lord Chaitanya became overwhelmed while describing all this. But just to finish bidding farewell to the devotees, he remained patient. The Lord is never indifferent towards his devotees who love him exclusively, dedicating all their hearts and soul for his service. Yesterday in the Q&A, someone had asked that if you're living in the hostel and there are deities, how do I serve? And we had made this point. One of the last points we made is we can at least mentally offer it to the Lord, and the Lord will accept. And here we see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is in Jagannath Puri, Sachi Mata is in Navadvip, and she's offering it to the Shaligram, thinking that this is something that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu likes. And Mahaprabhu, even though physically was located somewhere else, he was still finishing the whole plate, not once, but twice. So if the intent is clear and if the intent is pure, And my dear Lord, this is the reason why I'm offering. And this is the best I can do. You know it better. I don't have to explain it to you. You know it better. You know my situation better. Krishna will definitely accept. Krishna will definitely accept. There are so many examples in Chaitanya Charitamrita where devotees were far away or monetarily they didn't have much. And Mahaprabhu still accepted whatever they gave. So the first, Mahaprabhu is giving different instructions. First, to Advaita Acharya, he gives the instruction to spread bhakti. Then to Nityananda Prabhu, he gives the instruction to remain in Bengal and to preach. Then he starts glorifying his mother's love to Srivas Thakur and sends prasadam through him and tells him about this pastime uh, as to how he expressed his love to his mother Sachi Mata by honoring the whole plate that she had made. So in this way, we find Mahaprabhu giving different instructions, and some of the other instructions we will try to see hopefully tomorrow in our discussion as to how Gauranga Mahaprabhu through his associates tries to spread and tries to cast this net of Krishna consciousness. Having said this, dear devotees, we very humbly want to stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Gaura Premanande. Hari Hari Bol.